Hello, and welcome back to this IES Environmental Policy video series. This video is part of our wider collection of bite-sized videos, bringing environmental science insights into the world of policy in 10 minutes or less. As part of our first series, on land and soil management, we're going to be looking at the ways that environmental policy can help the underappreciated natural system of soils, drawing on the policy report published by the IES back in October 2020. That report shows us some of the ways we can improve our relationship with soils and the natural world going forwards. Put simply, if we're looking to build a brighter future, we have to start with strong foundations, and that means looking at the land we live on. So what needs to change in order to better protect our soil resources? And how can we overcome the historic challenges which have prevented action? We'll jump straight in with some changes to the ways we need to look at the world around us. It should be clear from the last few videos that a small change in the way we treat soils could make a big difference. We need to take a holistic view of soil and land as an integrated system with consequences for the whole environment, working at the same levels that nature works on, with the goal of promoting soil which is sustainable, healthy, and resilient. Soil should be sustainable, reliably protected for future generations, maintaining an ecological balance and avoiding unsustainable outcomes in other natural systems, which cannot absorb the burden of that risk. Soil should be healthy, with all those salient qualities and properties which it needs to maintain its functions. But we need to recognize soil has an inherent value, and not just the many values it gives to human lives. Soil should be resilient, which means safeguarding it against threats, including the emerging threats we don't yet know everything about. We need to use the precautionary principle. Just because we don't have full data on a threat doesn't mean we shouldn't take action to protect against it. That three-part aspiration will be crucial to protecting these resources for the future, and it should underpin all our actions which interact with soil. We also need to recognise the nexus of crises we are facing: climate change, biodiversity loss, soil depletion, and others, and how our management of land and soil could provide solutions. It's not enough for our leaders to hide behind ambiguity or look for quick band-aid solutions. We need to recognise that we are dealing with a crisis, and that isn't a reason to be afraid or to stick our heads in the sand. It should be the motivation we need to take the clear and urgent actions we need to look after nature. And if we don't have the answers right now, then we must support more research to drive further understanding and awareness. When it comes to emerging issues, such as the effects of microplastics on land, soil, and human well-being, we can act now to avoid new crises developing. Finding solutions for soil will require us to make assessments about its health. Where doing so is challenging, we can get around some of the issues by using the work of practitioners to help. For example, we can use lists of evidence-based practices which are comprehensive, cut across contexts, and provide relevant case studies to enable peer-to-peer learning. By drawing on the expertise of academics and practitioners from agricultural, land contamination, and other land management contexts, we can ensure that what we're doing works without relying on contextual or subjective assessments of the land. Actions like applying organic manure and crop residues to increase soil organic matter, implementing cover crops or green manures to reduce bare soil, or reintroducing mixed farming and rotational grassland within arable systems can be generally positive practices. We can also use local risk registers, setting out existing challenges and risk factors for an individual piece of land, and seeing how soil on that land is contributing to or mitigating against those challenges. Using this practical approach helps to overcome some of the challenges to including soil health as a priority in a range of government policies. For example, we need a long-term approach to safeguarding our soils, so we need to support long-term, legally binding targets to keep the government on track and ensure accountability for improving soil resources. Agricultural payment schemes should also protect soil health, which is expected to become the norm in many parts of the UK going forwards, with the potential to spread much further. However, those payments will need to reflect the subtle, contextual differences between different soil types. Another approach would be to use oversight or regulation to ensure basic standards of practice and protection are met across different pieces of land and different soil resources. We should also seek to remove short-term incentives associated with reselling land for commercial gain to ensure long-term land sustainability is rewarded for both landowners and tenant farmers. Encouraging assessments of the state of soil resources at the point of sale could help to provide that certainty that investing in healthy soil now will be rewarded in the future. Meanwhile, sustainable finance approaches provide effective means for businesses to get involved in improving practices now, keeping ahead of future government regulation, and potentially gaining a competitive advantage through increased sustainability. So how can we make this vision for soils a reality? What small actions can we all take to push for change? And is it realistic to think that we could see our natural system of soils transformed within the next decade? We'll be answering those final questions in our next episode as we conclude this IES policy series on land and soil management. But if you want to get an inside track on the answers, you can read all about it in our recent policy report, Sustainable, Healthy and Resilient, Practice-Based Approaches to Land and Soil Management, which is available on the IES website. You'll find a link to the report in the details below, along with our social media and a link to the IES website. Make sure you follow us across platforms so that you're up to date with all our latest events, videos, and CPD opportunities. And remember to like the video, share it with friends and colleagues, and let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Join us again for another short video in our policy series on land and soil management. But for now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.